Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing tonight? It is the 15th of August, 2019. My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Hollywood After Dark, 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 dark. Actually, I have no idea what I'm trying to do there. I don't have an echo machine on this. I don't have any kind of way to make it sound cooler than by just using my own vocal talent, which is why you're here and not seeing my face. What's going on, Zalian? What's going on, Danzel? What's going on, Joshua? I saw that Daniel T was in here as well. That is awesome sauce. There's a lot to talk about tonight, probably more than I thought, considering today feels like it's a Star Wars news day, right? It feels like it's an absolute motherfucking Star Wars news day. D23 is next week. You know what I mean? D23 is next week, and that's going to be all about Star Wars. And you figure that they would go ahead and save all this information, but of course, news has to leak out. News has to trickle out from the tip of the Hollywood information penis and get everywhere. I mean, if you think about it, if you really think about it, and I'm going to use a sexual euphemism here because this is an after dark show. It's for mature adults. It's like a dick that's about to nut, and this is just what comes out first. It's good. It can get you pregnant, but it's not as good as the full release. What the fuck does that even mean? Oh, well, what does that even absolutely mean? And I have no idea because I can't tell you. I just like to make jokes. Most of them are terrible. I'm a father now. I'm a father of two. So I can make these kind of horrible jokes and get away with it. Not to mention, I have a dad bod. So all the ladies are going to find me super attractive all of a sudden. That's a lie. That's a Hollywood lie, by the way. Because Hollywood lies to you. It lies to you all the damn time. Let me, there we go. Drop that back there so you guys can see the chat. There is a donation bar in the top. Streamlabs.com/$3 theater if you want to join in. That's our donation go for the month. Just getting up there. And but there's a lot to get through here. We'll give it a minute in order to get people in while the notifications go out. We've got 16, 70 people watching right now. It fluctuates. Seeing some likes per. This is fantastic shit. Anyway, let's look here at the chat. It's morning for some people. That's right, Danzel, because you are definitely and not in this country. What's my favorite TV series finale? Garrick asks. Well, Garrick, as much as I enjoyed Game of Thrones, it ain't that. It's hard to watch a show and be always truly satisfied with the ending. If I had to say, probably The Office, I think, had the most satisfying finale for not only Michael Scott in season 7, but then the show itself in season 9. Because at both of those finales, I was very sad. At both of those finales, I was very, very sad. I mean, like, I will legit admit, I cried when Michael Scott left Dunder Mifflin. It hit me. Didn't think it would. Maybe I have abandonment issues. Maybe I'm just a sappy old man. But it got me right in the heart. And then, of course, when he came back for the finale, I was very happy. I thought it was great. Let's see here. Breaking Bad, its series finale was good, but not great. Mostly because I feel like they just did Jesse Pinkman dirty the whole time. They just needed to make Jesse suffer. Unnecessarily suffer, I feel. And I get it, but at the same time, it's kind of like, yeah, okay. Have I seen Scary Stories? I have not yet. I haven't yet. It's so hard for me to get to the theater. I really want to, though. Matt Mobile says, sup, man, love your vids. Oh, you're in Spokane, dude. Cool, man, cool. I haven't been to Spokane yet, but I hear it's hot as balls right now. It's warm here on the west side, but I do want to make it over there one day. Mock Ubuff 76 here says, I just heard that Disney's planning on rebooting Die Hard. Yes, I've heard that rumor too. And that's simply all it is. You got to look the source of these things, dude, right? A lot of times, like, you've got to really check the source. And a big one is we got it covered, right? Or we got this covered. We got this covered absolutely, positively, just shovels out as much crap as humanly possible. So there's that. Yeah. Well, the thing is, it could be true. It won't be true. If they're going to reboot Die Hard, it's not going to be rated R. If they're going to reboot Die Hard, it's going to ultimately be one of those things where they make it PG-13. And tell me I'm wrong. Look at what Fox is doing right now, or look at what Disney's doing to Fox. Disney has 100% thrown Fox under the bus. They have thrown Fox under the damn bus, right? Bob Iger's like, well, 20th Century Fox hasn't done as well as it could. We would like it to do better, but right now it's not doing as well as it could. Dark Phoenix cost us $170 million loss, and The Art of Racing in the Rain also bombed, and Stuber didn't do very well either. And as a result of that, Fox is fucked. That's what they're saying. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, using a little bit of hyperbole for humor's sake, but still, they're throwing it under the bus. And I've said this before. I said Disney tanked Dark Phoenix by releasing it during the summer. Okay. Disney tanked Dark Phoenix. Disney also tanked, the Art of Racing in the Rain is one that, should have ultimately been coming out in the fall. That movie's a fucking award season movie. You don't put a movie about dogs and racing in the summer? What? No way. You don't do that. That's so dumb. Why would you do that? Because they wanted to make it all burn. They wanted to destroy whatever credibility it had left in order to justify pulling Fox movies from the theater. Everything they've said, for the most part, I think with the exception of like Planet of the Apes, is all going to go Disney Plus, right? Home Alone, fucking, Night at the Museum, Cheaper by the Dozen. And there's another fourth one there that I can't remember what it is right now. They've all said that it's going to go streaming, which basically means it's all going to go streaming. That's it. It's what they're going to do. Everything they're going to do is that. And Planet of the Apes and like maybe some big high tier stuff, tentpole franchise movies that Disney can Disneyfy to turn into a project that makes money. The problem though is Disney Studios themselves as a film production studio has gotten lucky with these live action remakes, right? If you want to call fucking Lion King quote unquote live action. But other than that, does anyone remember 2013 and the Lone Ranger? How bad was that? I mean, that movie crashed and burned. It was so expensive. It killed Gore Verbinski's career. Johnny Depp thankfully got the Crimes of Grindelwald. He got Fantastic Beasts. But other than that, man, where's Arnie Hammer been? Like Ruth Wilson started banging Joshua Jackson on a show on Showtime called The Affair. But like other than that, it just killed careers. Where's Jerry Bruckheimer been? Right? He did one Pirates of the Caribbean movie? That's really about it. Let's see. But they would. Let's see here. You heard a rumor that Disney's already scrapping the $1 billion Galaxy's Edge to turn it into Aladdin Land. Yeah, that seems right. Let's see here. Rosanta says, if Dark Phoenix was released when it was originally scheduled for February 14th, it probably would not have done as badly. 100%, man. 100%. You drop that movie in October or November, right? Like mid to early October, early November, would have done a lot better. 100%. Would have been reviewed better, would have been seen as better. We wouldn't have been so close to fucking Endgame. The movie would have done better. 100%. That's how this stuff was, right? They definitely they kind of pushed it to a June release, I think, in order to just get out that Q3. Do I think that Geeks and Gamers is glad Disney? I think he makes money off of Disney being in trouble, so of course I think he's happy about it. See, the biggest conundrum, and you can, and I would say this to Geeks and Gamers myself. I wanted to meet him at Comic-Con. I sent him a Twitter message saying I was at Comic-Con, like, let's meet up. Got nothing back. But what I would say to Geeks and Gamers is what would happen? What would happen if Rise of Skywalker is good? What's going to happen to the fandom menace if The Mandalorian and Cassian Andor are fucking good? What's going to happen if Clone Wars Season 7 is goddamn phenomenal, like sucks your dick through the fucking TV screen good? It's all going to come crumbling down because they're not going to have anything to truly hold on to. That's not to mean that they're going to like stop making content where all they do is complain about Brie Larson blinking her eyes more than twice a second. You know, they're not going to stop doing that. But ultimately what's going to happen is they're not going to have anything to really hold on to with Star Wars. You know, and I would look, here's the thing. I'll give Jeremy the credit on this one. I'll give Geeks and Gamers a credit. I think deep down he wants it to be good because I think deep down he wants to like it. But at the same time, from a business perspective, I think he can't actually come out and say that, to be fair. So there's that. If Rise of Skywalker is better than The Last Jedi, The Phantom Menace is some serious shit. We're talking like end Gamergate level nonsense, Comicsgate right now where they're at personally with whatever the hell is happening there. I have no idea. All I know it's in turmoil. That's where it's at. You know, and that's all it is. That's all it is. YouTube has turned into just a cesspool for toxicity. A cesspool for toxicity. I think you guys all agree. I think if you guys are here, right now, you agree. So if you agree, hit one in the chat that YouTube has just become a massive cesspool of toxicity. That's what I think. Anyway, we've been on for a few minutes here. I definitely want to get to the phone calls, but that's going to require us to get to everything. And I see we already got a missed phone call here. That's pretty funny. I will be turning on the line here pretty soon. Yeah, I think all right. See, a lot of you guys think like me. That's why you're here. That's good. Let's see here. You hope the trolls come back. They might call back. They might. We'll find out. We'll definitely find out. Like, here's the thing. Okay, let me just quickly point out and say, shit, I'm not answering that just yet. Let me actually turn off Skype. Because like I thought I turned it. Yeah, fucking Skype pisses me off so much these days. All right, let me just make sure that is turned off here because I want to actually like get through shit without being interrupted by phone calls. Okay, so that could be that. Okay, anyway, do I think Anakin will appear in episode 9? I think the Force Ghost will. Yeah. M Hot says here, that's why we listen to you. You're not toxic. I have my moments. I'll admit, if some things piss me off, I get upset about it. But for the most part, I try to be as optimistic and positive as humanly possible. So it's, but the toxic stuff, Dave, has more to do with, how people approach certain subjects. Like, for example, I'll just give you guys this example. Look at like Geeks and Gamers and all of his crew and Brie Larson having the audacity to breathe as a human, right? Having just the audacity to exist in that moment as a human breathing was enough for them to do like 100 videos on her. I mean, how many did he do? And again, to give him credit, he gave himself the perfect out. He's all like, I'm just going to monetize the left's anger and I'm going to make money at it. That's his game. And they've all come out and admitted that, which basically takes away, it's the perfect deflection, right? I'm just weaponizing what they say. I'm making cash off that. That's what I'm going to fucking do. And they admit it. So you can't really fault them for it. Like, you can criticize it, but it's like this Teflon Don get out of jail free card shit. Because you can't use it as like they accept the criticism, like, yeah, and you're like, well, I got nothing past that. But that's a lot of what it is. I mean, what is it? Someone sent me a Mecha Random video about Brie Larson where she like legitimately looked like just verklempt and upset. And she like literally whined that Brie Larson was like the worst person in the world. And I don't think she was kidding, to be honest with you. I don't know her personally, but like her body language and her actions was like, no, I think she legitimately thinks that Brie Larson is like the worst person in the world. Okay. You know, like that's how I view that kind of stuff. And I mean, like, look, that's their game. That is their game. I don't want none of that shit. I'm going to criticize it because I think that it's like, I think that they could be doing more with what they do. I think if you want actual change, just being nothing but a lightning rod of criticism doesn't actually get to the core of the problem. It doesn't actually move the needle forward. I think if you want there to be change, then you've got to be actively trying to encourage it. Not just, Disney's a shill and fucking, oh, God damn it, all that shit. But that's what they do, And so my option, how I choose to respond to them, is I don't watch. I don't engage. I know about it because people send me stuff. I'm aware of it because I laugh at quite a bit of it because it's so over the top and ridiculous, but people eat it up because they want the drama. But I don't engage with it. I forget they exist like 95% of the time because I'm actually interested in having the conversations about what's going on. I'm one of the only people on YouTube, I think, that was like speaking positively of Game of Thrones season 8 when it was absolutely like profitable and popular to take a dump on it. And I'm just all like, man, I'm having fun. I criticized The Last Jedi because I didn't like the movie, but I'm out here going like, I think Disney Plus is going to save Star Wars. Let me tell you the reasons why. That's how I operate. So anyway, is the quartering part of that group? The quartering isn't, I don't know how to classify the quartering. I met the guy. I still don't know how to classify him. And I don't try. I don't watch his content. I mean, congrats on hitting 500,000 subs. You got a website that you need to, that's, I guess, doing okay. Good for him. And that's good. I'm happy for his success. But as far as a person that I want to know and associate with outside of what I've already in person met, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm actually pretty much done with a lot of that side of YouTube, just on a personal level. It has a lot to do with the fact that it's, I don't view it as being, in it for anything other than oneself in a lot of cases. So I ain't down for that, but that's just me. That's my take on it. That's my take. I've had this last year to really figure shit out. And that's where I'm at. Anyway, you know what? We're getting like way the fuck off topic here. We're getting like way the fuck up topic. I don't want to spend the entire night bitching and moaning. That's not why the fuck I'm here. That's not why the fuck you're here. Let's get into some goddamn fucking news. Let's talk about some shit because I think that's where we're gonna find ourselves better off and having fun. Let's have fucking fun. Let's not be drama. Let's have fucking fun. I think that's why we're here, and let's do that shit. So first things first. I do want to talk about this story that popped up today. And this is crazy to me. Disney has had 5 movies this year cross $1 billion. 5 movies this year. This is one of the reasons why Fox, I think, is dead. Right. And I know I don't want to say that out loud. I don't want to sit there and naysay, I was supportive of this acquisition. I was supportive of this merger because I thought that Disney would do the smart thing of trying to, move all of their adult properties over to Fox because it's running as a vertical to Walt Disney Studios, kind of like, what CBS and Paramount were to Viacom up until the merger. And then they would be handling more of the R-rated fare, like a new, Alien movie, Predator movie, a Die Hard movie, something along those lines. I don't think that's the case anymore because when you have a studio that crosses 5 movies in 1 year, and we're only 8.5 months in, and they hit $1 billion for 5 of those movies, one of them now the highest grossing film of all time, there's no way they're coming back from that. There's no way they're coming back from that. Not at all. Now it says here that Disney Pixar's Toy Story 4 it finally crossed the $1 billion mark. Putting Disney in an atmosphere that no other major studio has touched, having 5 picks gross over $1 billion in a single year. It is projected that Frozen 2 and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker later this year will bring that count to a mind-boggling 7 titles. Good luck to any rival in town, whoever dreams of surpassing that milestone, especially since Disney has all the goods when it comes to brands. And that's actually true. That's actually true. I know Disney jumped through all the legal hoops in the world to not be a monopoly, but it is starting to feel like when it comes to movie theaters, they are a monopoly. I spent 14 years working in movie theaters off and on, right? And I love the industry. I love working boots on the ground, meeting the people, seeing the films. I love all that stuff. But it's either Disney or bust at this point. Some movies do really well. The vast majority don't. So movies that were experimental that we might get to see, outside of maybe lower budget, under 30 mil horror films, we ain't get to see much. Now, other rival major studios have admitted defeat for many years to come, especially after they gobbled up Fox. Disney could do half the business that they're doing this year and still beat their nearest rival studio at the box office. Warner Brothers, that said, sources around town believe that this is the most fierce year against Disney at the box office due to the fact that they're launching the streaming service Disney Plus in November. Disney's plethora of tentpoles this year is literally like one big advertisement for their streaming service. If you want to see all these billion-dollar grossing picks in the future, go to Disney Plus. Yeah, they're cornering the market. They're going to corner the market on streaming. And that's honestly why, and I've said this before, it's honestly why I feel like Netflix is going to team up with Paramount. Right? Paramount, Viacom. Viacom's going to smooth, they're going to slide in to Netflix's DMs and be like, yo, what up, girl? You want to take on the House of Mouse? You want to get down and dirty with it? I think it's going to happen because they're gonna have to. I mean, no one is going to be able to do this. No one is going to be able to do this. I mean, look at this here. Other picks to fly past the $1 billion for Disney this year are Captain Marvel. I don't know how. I know some people like to argue that Disney bought seats. I don't believe that was the case, but at the same time, it's like, Avengers Endgame, $2.795 billion. The Lion King, 1.3, and Aladdin, 1.03. That's just nuts, man. Even Spider-Man Far From Home cracked $1 billion, and that's Disney adjacent, which is one of the reasons why I think at D23 in a couple of days, we're going to get the announcement for Spider-Man. I think they're going to do it there. It's just insane that these movies are pulling in as much as they are. It's insane that Disney is making the money that it is. And it's insane that we're not going to see this go away. It doesn't matter if Galaxy's Edge is a bore fest right now. It doesn't matter. People are going to go. People are still going to the theaters. And as they make their way further into China and establish a strong, nostalgic foothold in the Middle Kingdom, which, make no mistake, they are doing, we're going to see more movies tailored for that audience than ever before. Because the 1 billion people in China that could potentially become massive investors into these movies in regards to the box office is going to be where a lot of things go. And I know that on paper versus reality, it's entirely different due to the way the system works. But there's 320 million Americans, over 1 billion Chinese. I mean, that is going to eventually become the domestic marketplace, and we're going to become the international market. I don't know when, but it's going to happen, and Disney, straight up, is going to be leading the charge on that. Mark my damn words. Okay, let's talk about these Game of Thrones. This is an interesting one here. So, D.B. Weiss and David Benioff have had a hell of a year, right? The most anticipated, hotly loved show up until this year, Game of Thrones. Everything kind of went like tits up in the in the last season for some people. I myself had a good time. I enjoyed it. Any story problems were all at George R. R. Martin's feet. And if you don't like that, we can always have that discussion, or I can prove you wrong. So we do know that Disney has hired these guys to write at least, we're assuming a trilogy of films. I never once thought they were going to direct it, but definitely write it. And we found out last week or the other week that Netflix dropped 200 million, anywhere up to 300 million. That's the range I'm seeing here, to get these guys in an exclusive deal to write, produce, direct, create content for Netflix. Because like I said before, movies, man, they're going away. The theater industry, it ain't dying, but it ain't growing either. Not in the way that it needs to be. And unfortunately, this is where things are. Now, apparently, the Game of Thrones guys may not write all of their Star Wars films, and this is coming from comicbook.com, so as always, clickbaity to the max, but let's see what they have to say. So it says, according to the Hollywood Reporter here, a source revealed that they have only committed to writing one of the films in their series instead of the plan to write them all. Other than the initial announcement that they were writing and producing a series of films, Lucasfilm hasn't released any additional details about the projects, including how many films they are developing. Now, we know that 2022, 2024, 2026 December is going to be this next trilogy of films. We know this. This is going to happen. This is going to be a thing. So the thing to consider here is, and I said this before too, I always assumed that they were going to be writing an anthology, that they were going to be doing 5 films. That's how you can go back and find my original content and on the subject, and I said that. To me, it was always going to be 5 films. Set up a long play, adapt a long story. If it's going to be the Old Republic, if it's going to be Knights of the Old Republic, which I think I'm not the only one that would have to like change their pants if they came out and they said Knights of the Old Republic was coming, because that wouldn't be the only thing that was. But ultimately, this is how I view that. This is how I view this, is they're going to produce 5. And I could be wrong, but this is, my guts always told me 5. Now, the source also noticed that their commitments to the Star Wars franchise won't impact the recent the deal struck with Netflix. Well, obviously not. I mean, Netflix, Casey Bloys, by the way, a guy in charge of HBO, when Dan and Dave signed up, with Disney to do this Star Wars stuff, he was like, well, they're going to go off and they're going to do their thing, and then they're going to come back to us. He's very adamant that they're going to come back to HBO. But this deal with Netflix is insane. And this deal in the popularity from Game of Thrones season 8. And here's the thing, you may not have liked it. But it was still really damn popular. And that's really, in many cases, all that matters in Hollywood. They use that popularity to broker a $200 to $300 million deal with Netflix. And then they might be scaling back what they're doing at Disney. Now, we don't know. All we know is that back in May, after the ending of Game of Thrones, Dan and Dave met with Kathleen Kennedy, Rian Johnson, and the Lucasfilm Story Group to have a Star Wars week to talk about what's going on. We know that it existed. We don't know anything else about it. We don't know any of the other details, just that it happened. So if this is the case, it'd be very interesting to see what's going to happen with that at D23 in a couple of days. I think it's going to be all eyes are going to be on that. Now, this is what they're saying here. Dan and Dave are some of the best storytellers working today. It's coming from Kathleen Kennedy. Their command of complex characters, depth of story, and richness of mythology will break new ground and boldly push Star Wars in ways that I find incredibly exciting. And the thing with that is, you might look at season 8 and go like, but no, but look at the rest of the show though. They took George R.R. Martin's material and they adapted it. And they really did command, complex characters, depths of story, and a lot of mythology that came out of George's books. Which is why I say when it came to the last couple seasons and they were just going off a bulletin pointed outline that George gave them, it's his fault. Because he never finished his end of the goddamn bargain. Again, we can always have these discussions and I can always prove you wrong. So I think that it's possible that they're going to work on this. I think they're going to write at least the one, and then they're going to do the outlines from that. And from there, if it gets better, if it does okay, then they're going to probably work on the other ones. Because if all they're doing is writing, I guarantee you at this point, they've already got an outline done. They've already got an idea for however many movies they want to do. And it doesn't take you that long to write a script, at least to get the bare bones of it on paper. These guys were writing the last season of Game of Thrones. Each episode was it like 70, 80 minutes or something? It felt like those are like mini movies, and they wrote all of them. So they can crank out content pretty quick. And this time they're going to have, I think, a lot more time to they're not running it. They just get to write it and then move on, which is one of the reasons why I do think that while they're going to be writing this new trilogy, they won't be directing it. And I really think that Rian Johnson's going to come in and direct it. I do. I really, really do. And if that's the case, God help us all. Why? Because apparently Rian Johnson's still talking about a Star Wars trilogy because he thinks it's going to happen. Rian Johnson thinks his Star Wars trilogy is going to happen. This is something that came out today. I find it interesting in regards to right around the time that we get to see news that potentially David Weiss and DB Weiss and David Benioff are not going to be writing all of their movies. We find out about this little nugget, like Rian Johnson still over here going like, no, what about me? What about me, you guys? I made a movie. The movie did good, right? Right? What about me? Anyway, this is here. Oh my God, he killed Star Wars. So Ryan Johnson's next movie is this year's Ensemble Knives Out. But anyway, but then he'll be returning to a galaxy far, far away for his new Star Wars trilogy. Much of Johnson's trilogy remains cloaked in secrecy. Yeah, but if anything else that J.J. Abrams had cloaked in secrecy, Ryan Johnson took it out back and defecated on it, lit it on fire, recorded it, put it on YouTube. Anyway, in fact, the only thing we know about it is that it's set entirely out of the regular Star Wars mythology. No Skywalkers, no Death Star, no Snoodles. Johnson offered up the tiniest bit of insight. And in an interview with Observer, it says here that he's not going to come out and tell us what the plot of his trilogy is, but he did reveal how he's approaching the films. This is something, how Ryan Johnson is approaching something that the vast majority of us who talk about Star Wars on YouTube do not want to see happen. And let me just say here, if it was David, DB Weiss and David Benioff writing a script and Johnson was directing it, I would feel better, because despite what you may think about, D&D, they're still more competent than Ryan Johnson. Can we all agree on that one? I think we can. Now he says here, I think that the fun and challenging part of it is to dive in, figure out what's exciting, and then figure out what it's going to be. We're doing something that steps beyond the legacy characters. What does that look like? To me, the blue sky element of it is what's most striking about it. I know the way I'm coming at it, and what's fun about it for everyone in George Lucas's films is figuring out what's the next step. It really makes you think and figure out what the essence of Star Wars is for me and what that will look like moving forward. Well, all we have at this point is to go off of his essence from The Last Jedi. And we know what it's like when he sprays his essence on something that's beloved, like Star Wars. It stinks. We know that. Everything about that movie was just like, what? Really? This made it through committee? Okay. Okay. And now he wants to come in and find the essence of Star Wars in his next movie, his next trilogy, and make it a reality. Now, I'm not saying it couldn't be done. I'm not saying it couldn't be done. It couldn't be good. It could be. Because he's not coming into it. Just to be clear, let's be fair. I want to give him the fair credit that he's a solid director, but he needs a good script. And if he's writing it, we've seen examples now where that doesn't work, so he can't do that. But he also doesn't have to deal with a legacy character. If he's stepping outside of the legacy, what we know, no Skywalkers, no Death Star, probably no Force, then that could be something. But it really does boil down to what is the essence of Star Wars to him. And if The Last Jedi was that, of him being able to play almost completely unabated in this gigantic galaxy-sized sandbox, then I don't necessarily think he's able to find it for a trilogy that he gets to write on his own. Because when you're given the keys to the kingdom, essentially, when you're creating a movie that is meant to be on par with The Empire Strikes Back in regards to setting up the finale with the bad guys in a better position than they were and the heroes kind of on the run, and you give us the slowest car chase in galaxy history where apparently every single asshole has a cloaking device. Everyone has a cloaking device. Even your little escape shuttles have a cloaking device. It's one of it doesn't feel like you know the essence and you know really how to bring it up. That's my take on it. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I don't think Ryan Johnson fully understands what he's talking about when it comes to finding the essence of Star Wars. Because what he likes to do is he likes to troll. Because in his mind, he thinks that is how you get to the heart, is not tell a good story, but target the ones who want to hear a good story. And then you think you've won if half the audience likes it and half the audience hates it. I don't know about you, but when people come watch a video of mine, I'd prefer them to like it than to dislike it. And if they come in and they're angry about it, I'm going to try to figure out why and then not do that again. Johnson, on the other hand, is protected by Kathleen Kennedy. I think we all can agree on that one too. And if Iger is smart, he's just stringing Johnson along to see whether or not he irreparably damaged it. Because I'm telling you this, if the Rise of Skywalker grosses less money than The Last Jedi did, there's no way in hell Johnson is going to be getting anything. Because you could pinpoint the exact moment the franchise broke, and it's literally when Rian Johnson started writing The Last Jedi. All right, let's take a look here at the hot news of the day. This is the hot one. This is the big stuff happening right now. This is what everyone is excited for. Everyone's freaking out over here. We got the confirmation. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got the confirmation today that Ewan McGregor is back as Obi-Wan Kenobi in a series for Disney Plus. Now, when I said in my video that Disney Plus will make Star Wars great again, this is what I was talking about. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Because last year, when Solo dropped, everyone wanted to know about the Obi-Wan movie. More people were like, is James, who's going to do a Western version of an Obi-Wan movie? And then we hear James Mangold's going to be directing like Boba Fett, which is like, okay, cool, but we'd all kind of prefer the Obi-Wan because Logan and the Western setting and everything else, right? But this is going to be giving fans what they want because fans have been asking for this. So we don't know much yet, but it's here. It's a reality. And I'm pretty happy about that. Now, this is coming from Deadline has confirmed. I love that word, confirmed. Ooh, it just makes my nips so nipply. That Ewan McGregor is set to reprise his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi in a yet-to-be-titled Disney Plus series. Details are being kept under wraps. Going on to say that earlier this year, there were rumblings of a possible Obi-Wan Kenobi series coming together for Disney Plus. Word on the street was that the series came together from an idea that was originally intended to be a movie. But after Solo, a Star Wars story ended up being a disappointment, Disney and Lucasfilm thought a series was a little less risky. Now those rumors have circled back around with a new report indicating that Ewan McGregor has signed on to star in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, which makes us think that an announcement at D22 or D23 is going to be expected. And I completely agree. I completely agree with that one. And then I get it that Solo ended up getting, Solo, let's be fair. Solo, it's a fun movie. It's maybe not the best, but it's a fun movie. You can get into it. And it's like, but it failed. It did 400 million worldwide. They expected at least 1 billion. It didn't get there. Should have been a winter release. It really should have been. I think it would have done better if it wasn't like up against Deadpool the week before it. Same with Deadpool 2 doing better with that. Anyway. And then they got skittish. But let me ask you guys this. Is it worse or better to have a television series? Because with a movie, it's like 2 hours, right? 2 hours. But with a show, that's like 6 to 8 hours, maybe 10 hours. We get to stretch these things out. We get more character development, more depth, more mythology, more history, better characters. I think Star Wars always would have been better on television. The movies are great for like what they are, and I'm not deriding the films, except for The Last Jedi, because, screw it. But giving us a television show to expand everything, I think is going to be a lot better. Now, Cinelinx here had the latest update on the possible series, and they said that they're not the kind of site to come up with the scoop, but they were doing their due diligence, and they have 2 separate sources to back the claim. So, I mean, look, this is all kind of over thing as it is, right? Well, this is really, at this point now, with the Deadline confirming it, everything else is kind of moot. Doesn't matter. No one cares. But I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this because I still remember when I heard that Ewan McGregor was cast as Obi-Wan Kenobi, because I had seen him in Train Spotting and a few other things I think I saw him in. And I was like, man, yeah, I like this guy. And then, but I've always loved Sir Alec Guinness. I've always loved Obi-Wan. And can he play the young version of him? And you watch The Phantom Menace and he's, the apprentice. Like, yes, yeah, he did a good job. But then you get into it a bit more, right? By the time Attack of the Clones comes around. And you're like, all right, he's kind of coming into it. He's an older, more mature Obi-Wan. He's still a bit of a stickler, right? But he's he works. He does. He's a good character. And then you get to Revenge of the Sith, and all of a sudden it's full on hello there, and that's good stuff, right? Like that's good stuff, and it's great. And you know what? Talk all the crap about the prequels you want. Everyone loved Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, and even in the Clone Wars animated show, even though it wasn't Ewan McGregor voicing him, a lot of people liked the character, meaning that. And I'm gonna invoke the name. One of my friends are gonna hate this, but I'm gonna invoke the name Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni brought this guy to life, helped bring this guy to life, I think, and really fleshed out the character in a way that was wonderful to a lot of fans. Now, what I'm expecting, my predictions, ladies and gentlemen, is that it's going to be an 8-part limited event series. Not going to be a full-on TV show, but a limited event series that's going to have Obi-Wan probably on Tatooine, dealing with some Tusken Raider shit, probably. And something that's going to need to happen. He's going to have to come out of hiding and do some stuff. And I think it's going to be written and produced by not only Dave Filoni, but Jon Favreau. I think Favreau coming off of everything is going to, because, hey, Lion King grossed another, it's 1.3 billion, I think, at this point. And, that one is going to do great. So I think they gave him all the clout, and I think it's going to be Favreau Filoni. That's what I'm saying. I think they're going to be running a lot of this stuff. I could be wrong. I don't know. We're going to find out more when we find out more, hopefully next week at D23. But as a Star Wars fan, as a long-time Star Wars fan, I absolutely positively love this news. And I hope you guys do too. All right. There we go. There's all the news. I don't like to do 4 stories, but I felt I needed to do 4 stories. I didn't even talk about freaking RoboCop returns. Neil Blomkamp left RoboCop. That sucks. He says he's coming back, but I don't know. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me get a drink of water here. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to open up the let me open up the phone lines here. You guys can call in. Where is that at? Give me a second here. Skype's being a pain in my ass. Okay. Let's hope let's let's hope that it's a little bit different than last night. But the phone line is now open. You guys can call in. Oops. Okay. Yeah, we're good there. All right, whenever that happens. So let's see. Bring up the chat here. Okay. Oh yeah, the number's in the video description, but I will post it real quick. Okay. Oh, Ready or Not? Yeah. I want to see Ready or Not. I really enjoyed the trailer for that. It looked pretty fantastic. I think Ready or Not's gonna be pretty good. What's going on, Future Clone Commando? How you doing, man? Have I seen that terrifying Clifford the Red Dog image? I did. That was pretty funny. Yeah, Raya, I agree with you about Hulu, and the bundle. Not a big fan of that one. Let's see. Is the call forwarding off on this? Okay. And also, I do have a Discord. Link is in the video description. Now let me post the link. I can take calls in there as well. If you guys want to jump on in and then let me know on. All right. Oops. Oops. How's it going, man? 612, you're on the air.
How's it going, Mr. Jarbo? How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. Having fun talking about movies and shit. How about yourself?
I will say you're doing a great job so far.
Thank you.
I'm a little late for the live stream, but as usual, you're keeping it smooth, keeping it nice.
Yeah, I want to do it earlier in the day. I do. It's mostly my kids go down to sleep, and it's when I can get and figure it out.
You know what? I like you on a late night show. Believe it or not, you have a late night voice. If this was 1976, you would be ruling the airwaves.
I would like to think so. I'd like to think so. Lots of cocaine.
Lots of cocaine. And with that being said, could you introduce a song by Steely Dan for me really quick?
Top of my head. Let me. I don't even know. I
How
know
about this
Steely
is Do It
Dan.
Again? This is Do It Again by Steely Dan. On the late
Okay,
night
okay.
version.
I'll do that for you, man. She's here on Hollywood After Dark. This is what's the song? Doing It Again?
Do It Again?
Oh, this is Do It Again by Steely Dan. I'm your host, Matt Jarbo. Get out there and get fucking wasted, people.
See, that just gave me chills and made me want to grow a beard. I don't even like beards.
Well, you should grow a beard. Every man should have a beard. I have a really terrible chin strap because my neck is fat and like my hair doesn't grow north of like my mouth, so it looks bad. Profile shots of me are terrible. That's why I'm not on camera anymore. No, I'm kidding. But
I have the light pirate, the Dread Pirate Roberts goatee thing going. I've been rocking that since about 2002. So.
Oh wow. Well, there you go, man. Can't go wrong with little Dread Pirate Roberts.
It's a little bit. I will say about the Obi-Wan series, Ewan is franchise gold these days. I don't know if you got a chance to check out Christopher Robin.
No, I heard nothing but bad things about Christopher Robin.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I can actually say that I enjoyed it, and didn't think I was going to enjoy it. The effects were on point, and it was just every now and then. I like to take a break from the sci-fi and the blood and guts, and just settle into something that's kind of sweet and nice and makes you feel good. And that's what that was, man. It was real simple to the point. And you got Ewan doing Dr. Sweet coming up. He was great in Train Spotting too. I think they really do need Ewan to really bring some credibility back.
I think that with the fans credibility, I think that with the fans we're going to see a lot of that with Ewan in the Obi-Wan series because people have been asking for it now for a long time.
Oh yeah, and I think finally Disney is tired of taking L's, man, and the war is won. I think just bringing in Ewan is going to go along a path of keeping promises to the fan base and not going along this fringe path they've been going along with. However, my wish list for the series, which I think would be very, very creative, there's a certain episode of Rebels that featured Obi-Wan and Darth Maul. And
I never finished the series of that. I'm like, I feel bad, but I've never seen season 4.
Well, you might kick me in the nuts because I'm gonna have to give a little bit of a spoiler here, man. There's a really cool episode of Rebels that features Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it's his last meeting with Darth Maul. And he takes out Darth Maul in just like the smoothest, most like samurai way ever. And it ends with him like kind of knowing that he's watching out for Luke.
Oh, nice. I think they're going to bring Rebels all the way to Disney Plus because I want to see it. So
Rebels was actually a really decent show. I didn't think I was going to like it. I really dug it, and I really was hoping that they would interweave the Rebels show with this new trilogy, and that never happened. I think there's been a lot of lost opportunities here and a lot of missteps as far as Star Wars goes. Ultimately, if they could go back and do an animated series with the big three, I think that would probably be the best way to recover the ball right about.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they can bring in, when it comes to, Star Wars now, they need to kind of show that they are going to go back a little bit to Lucas, and I agree with you about Ewan being, franchise gold. I really do. I think a lot of people are gonna get a kick out of that, and really just have fun with it. I think.
Hopefully. I had caught a video earlier today when we were talking about the Avengers Endgame tour. I am so sorry, bro. I don't know if anybody actually took the time to tell you. I'm sorry you had to go through that, bro.
No, it's all good, man. I mean, the thing is, I wanted to go, and I was in San Diego for Comic Con when the first thing happened. I guess their first leg of it, but they didn't really talk about that. And I live about 100 miles away from Everett, so I picked up a YouTuber friend of mine named Mr. Epsilon, and we went up there. And he hadn't been up to the place. I'd been up there before, and we just had fun hanging out. And that was kind of. And then we actually, this is gonna sound really stupid, but after we left, we actually went on a hike through the woods. We found a cool little park, and we just went on a hike because we were waiting for this bar to open up so we could get some lunch. And then we just went and like walked off breakfast, and then got hungry for lunch, and then had lunch, and then I drove him home. That was good. That was good. It was good to get out. It was good to get out and go do stuff.
I see, that is the way of a true Jedi, my friend. That is the way of a true hero. You made the best out of a situation. Kudos to that, my friend. Kudos.
Oh, well, thank you very much, man.
That's the kind of guy Matt Jarbo is, man. He takes the last corner of vodka and a little bit of orange juice, and he has a good time. That's what I'm talking about, man. I'm gonna let you get to the next call, man. But hey, man, I love your late night show, man. Keep doing your thing, brother.
Thank you so much. Have yourself a great night, and definitely call in again.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Well, that was very nice. That was very sweet. YouTube is a very, very, some people can be super mean on YouTube. This guy was very nice. I like that. Makes me feel good about doing this kind of thing. All right. Again, here we go. Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. What's your name?
My name's James.
Hey, James. What's on your mind tonight?
No, I was just watching your video, and I was interested in what you thought about the new Obi-Wan Kenobi television show.
Oh, well, we've been talking about that a little bit off and on, but I have no problem bringing it up again. I'm excited for it, man. I think it's going to be. I think we all knew this was coming in one way or another. I think, fans had been kind of pseudo demanding it for well over a year, and I think with the park not doing as well as it's doing, and the Last Jedi having kind of fractured some stuff, and people, wanting a little bit more legacy content. Giving us Obi-Wan with Ewan McGregor on board is just like, if it wasn't Ewan, don't even do it, but he's now kind of age appropriate for everything. Cause how long has it been? What, 2003? No, 2005. So yeah, it's been 14 years since the last movie came out. So, if they wait 3 more years, he's going to be the same age like Obi-Wan should have been when he dropped off, Luke at Uncle Owen and Emperor Roots. So it's cool.
But with the new streaming war going on, do you think that Disney has the balls to actually do this correctly?
I do actually. I do. I think, I think again, it's all about who's running the show, right? So, I think the way I kind of view it is Iger knows that Kathleen Kennedy fucked up, right? And like, he knows that the brand has been injured, and it's not like she's the person in charge. So the buck stops with her in that front. But you have diminishing toy sales. You've got, the park is not doing as well. And that was Iger like pricing themselves out and people afraid to go because they thought there's going to be excessive lines. So they just didn't go. And, the funny thing too, I was looking at the photo. I took a panorama shot of the Millennium Falcon. I was showing my dad today. And this was like at the end of the day. This is like about 7 p.m. when I was there. And I actually, at the edge of the shot, I've got the standby number for the Millennium Falcon ride. The standby time for 7 p.m. was 55 minutes.
How much did you have to pay for?
$150 to get into the park.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I legitimately, because I looked it up before I went and I saw it and I was like, it's like $100 was what I saw. I'm like, that's fine. And I get there and I'm like, it's 150. Gee, I just spent like 25 to park, and I'm like, God damn it. Cause you just start feeling like you're being nickeled and dimed. and that's not the feeling you want. You never want to, have your audience feel that they're being nickel and dimed. You want them to have a good time. And the thing is like, I was there with my kid brother who's 26, and he hadn't been to Disneyland in years. I hadn't been in like 8 years, and like it was cool. Like, all right, let's do it. We're gonna go spend the day together. And he lives in California. I'm here in Washington. I don't see him very often, so I'm gonna spend the day chilling with my kid brother, and that was great. He had a blast. I had a blast by the end of the day, but the price of stuff. Like we went and got pizza at Pizza Planet, and it was like $8.50 for a slice of pizza.
It's corporate. It's corporate.
It's all corporate. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just like,
I'm a working actor, and can't tell you what I'm working on right now, but something that I've been hearing a lot recently, and from what I hear on podcasts, one of my new favorite podcast people is Robert Meyer Burnett, and something that I've been living by and seeing what needs to be done is he always says that put the characters first. If you look at the original Iron Man, they put the characters first. They're looking at brands right now. We're looking at the CBS and Viacom merger right now.
Yeah.
What are they going to do with that? They're just going to put the brand first, and they're just going to try to build a cinematic universe off of this. With this Obi-Wan thing, what are they trying to do with this? Are we going to see just what we're seeing with this new Star Trek Picard miniseries
it's
that we're
possible.
calling it, or what are we seeing? What are we expecting? Because what I'm looking at on this Obi-Wan thing is I want an existential, psychological thing for Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
We already know what his resolution is. What the fans want is Unforgiven in the desert.
Yeah, that's what they've all been wanting. Yeah. Yeah.
They don't have balls to do that.
The thing is on Disney Plus, I think they have the balls to do it. And let me tell you why I think that.
I don't think they do because look at Netflix. Netflix numbers are going up. What is it? $16.99?
I have a feeling it's going to stagnate and start to drop off. Because they're going to have to get competitive. This $7 introductory rate into Disney Plus on its own is insane, and then bundling it with Hulu and ESPN for $13 a month, that's nuts, man. People are gonna fucking jump on that in a heartbeat. But let me say why I think they're gonna do all this. So what you've got is a situation where they just announced today that they're doing a Love, Simon television series for Disney Plus.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And that's it's a gay love story, right? Kid in high school.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
No, of course not at all. But I mean, how many conservative evangelicals are going to lose their fucking mind when this comes out, right? How many of them are?
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, obviously, we're not.
People think that, but the problem is they're not looking at long term. They're only looking at ratings for maybe 2 or 3 days, and that's going to make them a little money for a couple days. And like I said, I work in the entertainment industry. They're not looking at anything like that. They're only looking at optics on those things.
Well, they're looking at whether or not it drives subscribers.
What's that?
They're looking at whether or not it drives subscribers. And if it brings in subscribers, then they're going to view that as a win. I mean, I get it too. But the thing is, though, is that they know that they need to recapture the audience of Star Wars that they're losing, the older audience that they're losing. So this is, now if they do this like cookie cutter BS bullshit with Obi-Wan, then it's going to lose so many people. Like, and me with it. I'll fully admit that. What they need to
do is like a 2001 version of this. Like they need to, in the Kevin Smith words, melt your mind with this. Like it needs to be like, it really needs to screw people up, but not in the Ryan Johnson version of that. I have a question for you. What would you say is Rian Johnson's best work when he's not subverting expectations?
I would say Breaking Bad.
When?
The episodes he directed.
Which one?
It was the one where Hank died. That
Okay.
was really good.
So,
He did final season shit, and like final season of Breaking Bad was really good. So
he
and
also
it's like
subverted. Huh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. He subverted expectations on what?
He did, because I mean, think about what he did the entire time. You think he's going to kill this baby at the end, or like run away with this baby, and you're confused. You don't know what's going on. It like there was a conclusion to this story that Vince Gilligan created. There's no conclusion to the story that J.J. Abrams and Kathleen Kennedy created with Star Wars now.
Well, I don't disagree with you. But what I say though is, and I think you'll maybe agree with me, because your argument I think does, is Vince Gilligan crafted the beginning, the middle, and the end, and
yes,
and his writing team did that, but he oversaw it. So then here comes Johnson, because you know how it is on these guest directors on TV shows, man. They do some work, but it's not always like the most like in-depth shit. I mean, J.J. Abrams and Paul Feig directed episodes of The Office, right? So it's like, obviously, there's a format that they follow, and it's a set format. And then, these directors, they don't edit the shit. They don't oversee the edit.
No,
that all goes back to the studio.
For hire.
Yeah. So they come in and they do it for hire. So, I mean, it's like, he did a good job, but we also don't know if it would have looked the same if it would have been done by Patty Jenkins or Christopher Nolan or something. We have no way of knowing any of that. But when it comes to his theatrical work, that is him specifically, Brick, I thought was actually pretty good. I enjoyed Brick for what they went for.
I Looper was for what it was as well.
If you get rid of the telekinesis, Looper is all of a sudden like 80% better, because the telekinesis was like,
we got a good performance out of Bruce Willis.
Yeah, we did. No, we did. We got a good performance out of him and Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Emily Blunt. And so that's the thing is I will give Johnson the credit that he knows how to elicit a good performance, because the performance of Mark Hamill was good in The Last Jedi. Yeah. His story arc was terrible, but he was good. And even like, Poe Dameron, Oscar Isaac did a good job, I think. I think everyone did a functional job in what they were doing. It was just the sum of all, it was just bad storytelling. And Knives Out,
looking at like a gun for hire, like he was hired.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think what it was is there's this thing in Hollywood, and you know exactly what I'm talking about here, where you've got these high profile tentpole franchise films, and in order to undercut the cost of a director, they find somebody like Josh Trank to do Fantastic Four, where he's got a solid indie film under his belt, and they bring him in to do this big movie. Like Colin Trevorrow did Safety Not Guaranteed, which was a really excellent little indie film.
That movie was great. Yeah.
I mean, I used to live in North Hollywood. The day that came out, I'm like, grab the girlfriend, like, we're going to go see this in Burbank. Like, I got to see this movie. And then from there, they brought him over to go do Jurassic World, $1.5 billion. Now, granted,
which is not a bad movie.
No, it's not.
Even not looking at big, numbers or anything. Like, it's a good, cheesy, good time to watch. It was
a fun movie to watch. And I would have loved to have seen what he did with Episode 9, because I feel like he and J.J. Abrams are more of the Spielbergian type filmmakers. The popcorn filmmakers. Yeah. The old Amblin Entertainment type guys. That's how I view those guys. And I feel that under that idea, they can bring that experience. Rian Johnson's not that guy. Rian Johnson is Brick, Brothers Bloom, and Looper, where these are like very kind of demure stories. They're, not the most exciting. Looper was meant to be, but again, it kind of fell flat in a few of the higher points, I think, with what they were trying to do. But, then he comes in and it's like I said, I forget which video it was, but like looking at Johnson's commentary about writing the script for The Last Jedi, he was writing it before they were done with The Force Awakens, which means he just read the script. He just read the script for Force Awakens and then went off how he felt about the script. And that's how he crafted episode 8. At least that's my interpretation of it. And if I'm going to
Are
like
you
kind
a
of,
fan of David Lynch?
am I a fan of David Lynch?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm aware of his work. I wouldn't call me like a diehard or anything.
But you know that he was supposed to direct or was interviewed by George Lucas for Return of the Jedi, right?
That would have been fucking weird.
Well, okay.
I heard that
Well,
story. I heard that story. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there's interviews with him, and David Lynch was interviewed by George Lucas. He was taken out to Skywalker Ranch, and I believe in 1981 or 1982 to direct Return of the Jedi. And after that interview, you know, he turned him down. He said, "This is not. This is going to be a George Lucas movie. This is not going to be a David Lynch movie." David Lynch's style is subverting expectations, kind of similar to Rian Johnson's. And Rian Johnson has destroyed the Star Wars brand. And look at what we got after Return of the Jedi. We were stagnant for years, but we also got the re-releases. We got the prequels, which, you know, in retrospect, are not as bad as people remember. You know, they're cheesy and
No, I agree with you. Phantom Menace is still cheesy. Is, you know, but the other two are pretty good.
What's that?
I didn't. The Phantom Menace is still tough to watch. There's a lot you can't defend in the Phantom Menace.
I like the score to that movie. I really, really like the score to that movie.
Well, yeah, like, and I frequently say that The Last Jedi has an amazing score. So yeah, I get you, man. I get you.
I don't like the score to that movie. I'm so sick and tired of people liking the that music that plays when Luke Skywalker walks out there. I don't like it. I'm just not a fan. I just feel like John Williams is just kind of I'm just not a fan. But the score to Phantom Menace, I mean, it's beautiful. And not a big fan of the pod racing, but the score to Attack of the Clones is beautiful. Even in those cheesy scenes with Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman. Have you, other than the racing, is there anything new that you're finding in these things or in the new films that you like?
I mean, like I look at I rewatched The Force Awakens again, and I find myself kind of falling in love with it more the more I watch it. And I understand that it's pulling on those. For me, it's kind of like an overcompassing aspect of it, right? It's a feeling. I can't specifically put my finger on it. And I know it's the nostalgia. I get that. Like I can identify that part of it. But when I watch it, and it's kind of like when I watch Solo. Like I've watched Solo now like 6 or 7 times. I fucking love that movie.
I like
and
Solo.
And it's again, it's that idea of what it is, I think. That idea of what's to come. There is, JJ kind of created the mystery box with Snoke. Johnson fucking closed it and then burned it and then shat on it.
Burning expectations,
yeah. He's like Paul Feig, but like not funny worse. Or again, worse, really. Yeah. I mean, hey, at least we're getting Ghostbusters 3. So there's that. But
all right.
I'm down for that. Yeah, totally down for Paul Rudd. But I think a lot of it, when I watch The Force Awakens, like I can see what J.J. Abrams and Lawrence Kasdan were attempting to do in trying to hit those beats again. And the thing is, the way he described it was like he had to reintroduce the audience into Star Wars. And he's not wrong specifically. He still could have done it, I think, in a little less on the nose sort of way. But, when you go from 2005 to 2015, 10 years of no Star Wars movies, now we're rocketing 30 years into the future, not 20 years into the past. And, so it's a total different mindset. I get it. And there's also the aspect of Star Wars as a whole where events are somewhat cyclical.
Yeah,
prophecies,
things like that. There's no excitement. There's no exciting moments. I'm not a big fan of the pod racing scenes, but like the children and like when I was a kid, there was like video games for pod racing. There was also, when I was a kid, one of my favorite scenes of all time in Star Wars was when they were flying through the asteroid field in Empire Strikes Back, and the music, the crescendo, there's nothing like that in the new Star Wars. Where is that?
Maybe, but the thing is though, and this is just a question I like to ask a lot of people. When you were a kid, that's the difference there. When you were a kid. And so it's like kind of like the Last Starfighter, for example, right? Like I love that movie as a kid.
I love that movie too. Yeah.
And then you go and you rewatch it now and you're like, ooh, there's things there. We tend to look a lot through nostalgia with the rose-colored glasses. And I
they're
agree
going
with you.
remake that because that's actually a fun, creative movie. They don't have that originality anymore.
I know, but what I'm trying to say though is that there are some things that are better left in your childhood. We always kind of go back to those for how they made us feel. And I think there's kids today that are going to look at The Force Awakens 20 years down the road, and for them it's going to have the same impact. And I think it's
think so?
I do. Yeah, I do. I don't know. I don't think The Last Jedi is going to, but I think
no.
The tone. I mean, look, here's the thing. All the shit you want to talk about Force Awakens, it still did 2.2 billion. So,
I like The Force Awakens.
Yeah, but I think it's like part of it hitting that 2.2 billion was how it made people feel. And it's like I said about Avatar. You can dislike the movie all you want, and a lot of people
like Avatar.
I did. I still do. It's like it's harder for me to watch now but I remember the 3D IMAX experience. And when I talk about that, I say like, look, it's the experience people remember.
Matt, no, listen to me. You like that movie? Own it.
I do like that movie. I do own it. And I'm going to do a change my mind on that, where I'm going to let people call in and yell at me about it. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. But when I talk about that though, it's like I spent you work in the entertainment industry. I've worked in the entertainment industry. I spent 14 years working for movie theaters. Right. Yeah. So like that's my background in that particular marketplace. The experience of what you feel when you're in the theater, that how it makes you, how you resonate with that, or how it resonates with you, is what you carry with you. And that ultimately will then last longer in your psyche than anything else. Even bad storytelling can be trumped by a good experience. And the storytelling in Avatar is it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple.
Who cares? Who cares?
But who cares? Who cares? But when you
build, it's the characters you build, and if they're relatable.
And the thing is, and Avatar suffered from that.
Wants to go on that journey with them.
Yeah, I mean, people always like to go like, who can remember any character name from Avatar? It's like, oh, Jake Sully, Natiri, everything like that. And then and so it's kind of like, but I like to kind of harken back to the experience, and I think that's why it did so well. People wanted to get that again. It was new. Now the next movie, whenever it comes out, is going to have a massively uphill battle with everything else. But the thing is, we've been talking like 22 minutes. I've had some people try to call in that I have not been able to get in. So, because I could
talk about the new Terminator.
The new Terminator. Oh, cautiously optimistic. That's how I view that. Like, the trailer didn't wow me, but Tim Miller is a good director, and Cameron is a good producer, and Alita Battle Angel was badass, and Cameron worked on that for years.
Yeah, it's worth a watch.
Yeah. I think pretty sure if in the chat, if you guys saw Alita and you like Alita, definitely put one in the chat. But yeah, no, it's a good movie. But the thing is, it's like it's Terminator 3, not Terminator 6. It's Terminator 3, and I want to see what they're going to do with it. I want to see Linda Hamilton come back. That movie had my money from soon as I heard James Cameron is producing it, and it's based on one of it's like
the driving shots. His driving shots look badass.
Yeah, and that's Tim Miller. Tim Miller, here's the thing: go back and watch Deadpool 1 again, right? Just go watch Deadpool 1 again, and then look at it and go, yeah, it's actually kind of a perfect movie. Because
I'm hopelessly optimistic on this.
I am always hopeless. I always go into everything optimistic because I want to be. I don't want to go to a movie and not be entertained. I don't want to like reluctantly go, no, I'm not going to pay fucking money for something and not want to be entertained. You know, I'm not going to pay money to go to a strip club and get a lap dance and like hope to not get off. Yeah, this is an out there example, but it's true. You don't go pay money for something in hopes that you don't at least have a good time.
T3 though? You're not a fan of T3?
I think Terminator 3 at the time in July 2003, it had a very bold ending, and they owned the ending.
The ending is great.
And that again is one of those moments where you're like, I can forgive a lot of the other stuff in this movie because I think overall, start to finish, it was a fun film. You know, I think it was progressing the story forward, whereas I think like Terminator Salvation kind of moved it back, and then Genesis, fuck whatever.
Genesis. ISIS.
It was just bad. But anyway, I think there's a lot like I mean, I really want Terminator to be good. That's where I'm at now. I think we need it to be good. And I think the cast involved, you know, they got Edward Furlong back as fucking John Connor. So
unfortunately, I think it's the one scene. That's the only upsetting thing. I'm
sorry. I'll say that one more time. You kind of cut out.
I think Edward Furlong is only going to be one scene, though.
Yeah, I know. It's Edward Furlong, and maybe they'll be able to make it work to where he doesn't look like he spent the last 20 years coked out.
That doesn't matter. Let him be real. I'm not watching a documentary.
Let him be. Yeah, why not? Fuck it. It's like, wow, John, you've had a rough ride. I have
been on the road for a while.
Well, definitely. But hey, man, thank you very much for calling in. This was a fun conversation. We'll have to do it again.
Keep the open lines open.
Oh, they're going to be open, definitely. I'll talk to you later. Have yourself a good one, man. Peace out. Man. Okay, so there were a couple cars that came in during that. I appreciate the conversation. That was good times. Let's see here. Did my chat go dead? What happened? Hold on. I think my thing messed up on my end. Okay, no, I'm still streaming. Okay, there we go. Dark Fate does look pretty good. I am looking forward to seeing what happens with that one. Dark Fate, it's either going to be real good or real bad, and I'm okay to go in and give it a go. Hey, what's going on, Caleb Custom Bricks? I saw you were in last night towards the end of the show. So welcome. Appreciate everyone coming on in tonight. With all this Star Wars talk, like I think it's going to be gearing up towards D23 next week. I think we're gonna get a lot of good shit. I'm looking forward to whatever comes out of The Mandalorian, to be honest with you. I think whatever comes out of The Mandalorian is going to be a good time. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I can't wait to see more of Bill Burr, because Bill Burr's in that. Did you guys know that? If you saw the leaked trailer, you can at least see that Bill Burr's in it. And that to me is, it's crazy. Did I see the Zeroville trailer? I didn't. Did I hear that Rocco's Modern Life character? The trans character. I watched Rocco's Modern Life last weekend. I thought it was boring. When it got to the whole trans character bit, I legitimately just I stopped for a second and just went, oh no, the internet's gonna have a fucking field day over this. And it's not that I didn't care about it. Like, it's fine with me at this point. I think all the fucks I could give about that were out the window, because it wasn't like they beat anyone over the head with it. You know, it was like, they just did it. And then there was like, the issue of the father accepting, and then the father accepted. And as a father now, I think I kind of get it. If your kid comes to you and says, hey, I'm different, and you're like, well, I can either choose to support you or boot you the fuck out. And I don't think a good parent will boot you the fuck out. So I think they did it in a way that worked out okay. But I just found the episode itself to be real bad. It was like, it was a long half-hour program that didn't need to be that long. It was just boring. I'm hoping Invader Zim is better. I'm hoping Invader Zim's a lot better. Let's see here. Let's see. I don't think it was pandering, Garrick. I don't. What if the Return of Skywalker is the best Star Wars movie ever? It could be the case. It very much could be the case. And I don't think it is, though. I think that's always going to be Empire Strikes Back, to be fair. But if the Rise of Skywalker is good, I'm down for that. Like, I just want it to be good. That's all I care about. Give me a satisfying conclusion. Let me just get to the end and not feel like I got ripped off. Thoughts on the Ted movies? Just that's my father. I really like the Ted movies. No, I mean, I like Ted. Ted 2 was a bit of a try hard situation in my mind. So if anyone here is looking to call in, because I don't know quite what happened, but there you go. There's the number right there. Have I seen Mystery Men? Yes, I have multiple times, and it just hit 20 years this month. I cannot believe Mystery Men is 20 years this month. I mean, there's such a young, optimistic Dane Cook. Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Hey, look, in regards to, well, first of all, how are you doing, man? Are you doing well?
I'm okay. I saw your number and I'm all like, I need to add you to the contacts list so I just know it's you.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to $3 Theater, the best 6-hour show in the history of YouTube. We're going to change.org. We're going to convince Matt to go 6 hours a night. We're going to do that by gathering signatures and hitting them with super chats, liking the stream, sharing the poop out of it. It's going to be amazing listening to Matt for 6 hours every night here on YouTube. What do you think, Matt?
I think I need to not hire you as a publicist. No.
Hey, but
no,
anyways, in regards to the response to your last caller, who was excellent, man. Thanks for calling. It was great listening to that guy talk. He was talking. He said something interesting is that he feels a new Star Wars is kind of missing that asteroid field kind of scene and stuff like that. And although there hasn't really been anything like the asteroid field in the new Star Wars, I do agree with him with that. And I actually don't think there's many things in movies as good as the asteroid field scene in Empire Strikes Back, actually. But there's a few scenes that do stand out for me in the new Star Wars, Disney Star Wars. One in The Force Awakens, I love the introduction to the Millennium Falcon on Jakku, how they call it a piece of junk, and then the way the camera pans to the Millennium Falcon after the ship in front of them, the one they're going to get on, gets destroyed. And then when they get on the Millennium Falcon, how Rey goes right into a Star Destroyer. I love that scene. I thought that was excellent. I also love Rogue One, when this just gives me chills every time I see it or even think about it, when the rebels attack the Empire and they're coming out of light speed, and you see that Imperial officer looking out the window and going, "There's a fleet of rebels coming out of hyperspace." It's like, holy poop, dude!
The Battle of Scarif was pretty great.
Amazing.
That was pretty great. I mean,
yeah, that was amazing.
I don't think Rogue One gets the love that it deserves, in my opinion. I just don't. I don't think it gets the love that it deserves.
Dude, Rogue One gets better by every viewing, dude. I mean, I'm
kind of
telling
like
you right now, people. Yeah, I like Solo as well, but I like Solo, man. It's just, you're comparing it to Harrison Ford. It's like, calm down, And I like the beginning of Solo more than the second half. I know that most people are opposite, but yeah, it was a good film and stuff like that. But yeah, there's good stuff in the Disney Star Wars. I just think people are really hard on it. The Force Awakens, I love the scene where Rey is playing with that Rebels helmet, and just that visual directing. You don't see him
I think the cool thing about that shot, though, is not so much that she's playing with the Rebels helmet. It's that when it pans out and you see that she's living in a knocked over, burned out AT-AT.
That's awesome. But there, I related to her because I felt this is the audience, with the fantasy, because she was fantasizing about being part of the rebellion and stuff. You could tell in her face and stuff. And I felt like that's us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a lot there. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm gonna post up a video again. I think you've seen this because a lot of people are like rewriting history and kind of trying to be negative towards J.J. Abrams and forgetting that J.J. Abrams knows his stuff. He's freaking awesome. I'm sorry. And I did the junket for The Last Jedi, and I asked them, and I think you've seen this video. I asked them, what was the most important thing for you to bring from the original trilogy, the Lucas trilogy, to The Force Awakens? And his answer was spot on, man. It was, the mystery, the fun, the acceleration, and he knows his stuff, man. I think the Rise of Skywalker is going to be an excellent movie with what he has to work with.
Well, I mean, I agree with you about that. I think the mystery box approach to it, though, I think that's a little burnt out, if you want my honest opinion. I know audiences generally tend to like the mystery box because it keeps them talking about it, and some shows pull it off really well. But at the end of Lost, it's one of those things where you're like, like you get to the end of Lost and you're like, oh, that was it? Oh, those dicks.
Well, because people figured out that mystery box in the first season. They knew it was Limbo. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
he just kept. They had to go on and on. It's like, so there's a lot of stuff in Lost that just didn't make sense. They just the smart monster, which was awesome, and it's like, well, that's not a good explanation for what that is. At the end of the day, but that's another thing. But look, Maz Kanata told. Han Solo, when Han Solo asked her, how do you have that lightsaber? She says, that's a story for another day. Where is that story? It should have been explained in episode 8. That's extremely frustrating. We should have had a little bit more of the history of the First Order. Who the hell are they? A little bit of Snoke. And it's just stuff like that. And it's like, that's frustrating, and I think it's going to waste time in the new movie explaining that. And as far as I know I'm talking a million miles a minute because I know I'm limited to only 15 minutes with you. But as far as
I try to keep it at 15. Keep it 15 minutes. I mean, we go over, we go under. It really depends on the conversation. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I know you have a lot of people waiting to call, but as far as Rey being a no one, that's not a surprise, people, because if you look at the first trailer, or one of the trailers for The Force Awakens, you clearly hear Maz Kanata ask Rey, who are you? And she says, I'm no one. So and that's not in the movie, by the way, maybe a cut scene or something, or just from the trailer. I was always under the impression Rey is a no one, and I'm cool with the Force gravitating towards a person. I'm cool with that storyline. I'm good with the way it is.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be. I think that they'll be able to really deliver on it. I'm hoping they're able to deliver on it. If they are unable to do so, then it's going to fundamentally destroy the franchise. And and I think Abrams delivered with The Force Awakens, maybe not to everyone's liking, but I think a lot better than Last Jedi. And as a result of that, I think what we're going to see is just, I think we're just going to get a good adventure that wraps everything up in a nice, neat little bow. As much as that might suck, that's what we got to deal with here.
And we're going to get a good Obi-Wan series. Disney's listening to the fans. I'm sorry that people don't get that, but people want an Obi-Wan movie. They're getting a trilogy because at the very least, you're going to get 6 episodes, an hour each. That's like a mini trilogy right there. And I'm really excited for that. Give me some Christopher Nolan directing that sucker. I think he'd be a good fit, with the philosophy aspect of it and stuff with Obi-Wan. I think this one's good for Nolan. The other stuff, not so much, but I like Nolan. Anyways, bro, I'm going to let you go and listen to the rest of the show. Real exciting. Got 4 more hours, right, at Three Brick Theater?
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Hey, listen,
No, I'm.
you get those super chats in there, and I think it's gonna happen.
I
Super
think if
chat,
they,
baby.
I appreciate the support and the vote of confidence. I'm not against super chats. I quite like super chats, but at the same time, it's no. I got kids, man.
Yeah,
I
I
got to
know.
get up
People
early.
send
I got
send
to
that
get up
dollar send
early.
that dollar super chat. People, get this man some coffee, some Red Bull, what you do, those energy drinks, whatever it is. Get this guy, motivate him $1 so he keeps the equipment up to date and him motivated. Thank you very much, man. I'm gonna stay listening.
All right,
Good
thanks a
night.
lot, dude. All right.
Bye.
So now that we're now that the shill hour is over, no, I am, I really want Star Wars to find its home, find its way back. We're always going to deal with the corporate side of Star Wars. That's going to happen. Okay, so it's Alien here asks, or he says, unpopular opinion, Jurassic Park 3 is good. Yeah, man. Jurassic Park 3 is way better than Jurassic Park the Lost World. Jurassic Park 3 was fun. Joe Dante did that wasn't Joe Dante, that was Joe Johnson who did that one. And even he was he worked with Spielberg a lot back in the day. So I really enjoyed Jurassic Park 3. I like that it took it to or introduced a couple new dinosaurs, and we got to see Frank Oz get trampled. Or how did he die? He died. I know he died. And then it brought back Alan Grant. And there's nothing wrong with bringing back Alan Grant. That's why I hope that Jurassic World 3 brings everybody back. And I think that's what they're trying to do. They're gonna try to bring it all together and bring it all down and take it all home, because at the end of the day, that's what's gonna happen. I think the water scene is Alien was more reminiscent of in the original Jurassic Park novel. There's a river rafting scene that wasn't in the movie, and it's a good scene in the book. In fact, the Genesis video game, I think even the SNES video game, had it, and it was a popular scene in the book. I remember reading that book back in 1993 after the movie came out. I went to my local, I think it was a Barnes and Noble, if you can even find one of those anymore. I went to my local Barnes and Noble, and I'm like, I was 10. No, I was 11. And I walk in, I'm like, I want to purchase Jurassic Park, the novel. And they're like, okay, $4.25. And I'm all like, this is my weekly allowance there. Because this was the early 90s. And things just were cheaper back then. I could buy a taco for 33 cents. Now a Taco Bell taco, a standard Taco Bell taco, costs $1.50. Explain that to me. How a Taco Bell taco costs $1.50. That is some weird shit. But anyway, we're kind of coming up on the last half hour. So if anyone else wants to chime on in and get a couple calls, we could do that. If not, we can just talk here in the chat. That's perfectly fine as well. The Discord is also open. There's a link for that in the video description. If anyone wants to join the Discord and call in that way and not have to go through the actual phone line, which is fine as well. I like to keep it open and chill. Yeah, Christian, you can call, man. You can call if you want. That's all good. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this. That's why Hollywood After Dark is a fucking thing. Let's see here. Okay, Zalian says he thinks that the live action Beauty and the Beast was a pretty good movie. I went into it with low expectations, and I feel that the only thing in the movie that they did that wasn't very good was the Be Our Guest scene. I think for one, that was like the majority of their visual effects budget, and two, the scene went on for too long. The scene definitely went on for too long. And then Lumiere dabbed. So what the fuck? Right? I'm just saying Taco Bell was 39 cents in 1993. Right? It's over $1 more now for the same food item. 20 some odd years later. It doesn't need to be that way, folks. You don't need to do that. You don't need to have $1.50 crunchy taco from Taco Bell. That's unfortunate, though. It's always crazy shit. All right, so we just double check here. Double check in the Discord. I have to have like notifications turned off. So anyway, blah, 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 all right. Let's see. Barnes and Noble is fire. That's where you get your Funko Pops. Really, dude? I live in Washington State. This whole state is Funko Pops. No, head over to here. I posted an exploring Funko HQ. Any hot take on Rocco's Modern Life? Well, we just talked about that a little bit, safety. But yeah, I didn't care about the twist. I thought the twist was fine. I just thought the episode sucked. Rhea here says, did I talk about Dolomite? I saw the trailer. I haven't talked about that. I did see the trailer. Really enjoyed the trailer. Because Dolomite to me looks like a sequel to Bowfinger, which just turned 20 years old this month. And I love Bowfinger. That was a great film. And I think Dolomite is going to be a lot of fun. It's got a good cast. It looks like Eddie Murphy being Eddie Murphy again, and you don't know how happy that makes me feel. And I think also this, it's gonna kind of give us good Eddie Murphy, which is gonna take us back into Coming to America 2, which I can only hope will then be followed up by a Trading Places 2, because I'd love to see another Trading Places. Let's see. Saw, if you're in Discord, go into the screening room. And when I see you pop in there, I'll head over to general and I'll head over and I'll drag you in to another room. There we go. I'm in. Okay. So, yeah, you'll see. Okay. So, do I think that Enter the Flurpus is going to be good? I don't know. I mean, they're two different types of properties. Rocco's Modern Life is something vastly different from that. And it's just totally different stuff. I don't know. I'm going to watch it though. Let's see. You like Double Toast's trailer reaction? Yeah, you know what? Do you guys like trailer reactions? I know they're pseudo popular here on YouTube, and I do them occasionally for like big movies like Star Wars or whatever. Which, if we get a new trailer next week, I will be doing a reaction. But like, do you guys like that? Because I don't know. Like, I don't watch trailer reactions very often. I do like trailer breakdowns, like the analysis of that. Those are more at my speed. But the reactions, I kind of feel like, I don't know. I don't watch reactions. I'll put it to you guys like this. The reason why I don't watch a lot of reaction videos is because back in 2007, I watched a lot of reaction videos for to Two Girls, One Cup, and you're never going to find a better reaction video on YouTube than that. So, okay. Oh, it was okay. Oh, I don't watch Double Toasted. I don't watch as many movie YouTubers as I should. I need to watch a lot more, because then I can get to know them and bring them on the show. A taco only cost them 25. I know, it's only so cheap. So cheap. Okay. Let's see here. So yeah, if you want to get into the Discord, just go into the screening room and I'll see you in there and I can drag you in. That's if you're there. Yeah, if it's a particularly important trailer. I mean, there's some trailers. I watched that Last Christmas trailer today because yesterday everyone on Twitter was talking about that. They're just all like, oh my God, it's Emilia Clarke and Henry Golding, and they're in this movie called Last Christmas. And I saw the trailer. I'm like, was there anything remarkable about that? Emilia Clarke plays a drunk, and I'm pretty sure Henry Golding's an angel. Am I the only one who thinks that? Because like he never interacts with anybody else in the trailer. Yes, he's a ghost or he's an angel. It's a Christmas movie. He's clearly going to be an angel. But I still think they're going to fuck. So I'm just saying. I'm just putting that out there. I think that's going to be the case. But no, I saw that. I finally watched it today. And I'm like, that's interesting. Although not really. Okay, wow, we got two. Okay, great. So let me. All right, bring that up. And okay, Saw, I'm bringing you in. Okay, wow, we got two. Hey, Saw, what's going on, man?
Hi.
How you doing? What's on your mind tonight?
Good morning. By the way, I'm calling from Germany. Hence my strange accent.
If I recall correct, Guten Abend.
Guten Morgen. It's morning. It's
why not
in the morning.
Well,
yeah.
Okay. Because I'm trying to remember. I took like 2 years of German in high school. I remember like Guten Tag, Guten Morgen, Guten Abend, right? So
Okay.
Abend. Okay. And then the only other thing I really remember is like a line I put together, and you're gonna laugh your ass off at this because it's like the worst German ever. But I cobbled together a really terrible pickup line for German chicks, and it
Okay.
was Ich habe eine Wurstbratwurst, ja. So, which is directly,
That would work.
it would never work. I tried it. They laughed. Basically, the direct translation of what I just said was, I have a fat bratwurst. Yes.
Yes.
And that's what I learned from 2 years of German in high school. So there we go. We go. Other than that, I just like to say that the three angriest languages in existence are German, Japanese, and Klingon. So it's a great language. I can just never understand a bit of it.
Okay, I'm not angry.
No, you sound wonderful. So that's great.
Just the quality, I guess. But no, okay.
No, you sound like a very jovial individual. So
okay, yeah. I'm positive.
So yeah, what's on your mind tonight?
Yeah, you were talking about Star Wars. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I think the main mistake Disney or Lucasfilm after the acquisition did was, when the prequels started, there were clones everywhere. It was clone era.
Oh, hello?
When
I think I lost you for a second.
Awakens started, they had the First Order, but then the spin-off movies came out. It was Imperial. Rogue One came out, Imperial era. Solo came out, Imperial era. The Rebels show, also Imperial era. That was signaling to me, actually, we like the Empire better than the First Order. Like, as a fan, how am I supposed to like the First Order if all movies take place in the Imperial area?
Well, I don't know if you saw the video I put out yesterday about what the hell did I even title it? I forget. I put out so much content. This is what I do. But I kind of talk about that a little bit. And it's the what I say here. Oh, Disney canceled Star Wars Resistance because it can't. Yeah. So the idea there, and you might agree, you might disagree, I'm not too sure, but it's more or less my take on it is they don't know, like they can't market the First Order because there's the closing of it's the next enemy, but it's the ending of the saga. And it's one of those things where you've got like 3 movies over the span of 4 years, and they're trying to build up this thing. There's no real history to the First Order. That is, unless they decide that they want to dive in, 15, let's say 20 years past Return of the Jedi, right? 20 years past that, now we get the birth of the First Order. That could be something worth telling stories around, which I think could be interesting. When they do the Rise of the Resistance ride coming out here at Disneyland by the end of the year or early next year, maybe we'll get more info about how the Resistance started. Maybe they'll tell us in this next movie. I don't know. And if I'm being honest with you, I don't care. I don't really care. And because it's just, I like Stormtroopers. I like the Imperial Army, but the Imperial Army has been destroyed. And we already know it's destroyed. We know this is going to be destroyed. If they want to move away from the Skywalker saga, then they've got to do something different. Old Republic. Everyone wants Old Republic. And I think what people really want is a Sith v Jedi situation. They really want to see the Jedi versus the Sith. And I think that's going to be what they should focus on next, rather than the Jedi versus this, galaxy conquering army, and maybe I just think that's what they should do with it. But you have a point. They market the Imperial, and I think they do that because it's nostalgic.
Yeah, but Lucas didn't do that. They shouldn't have done the spin-off stuff like the Rebel series. They should have done those shows and the movies in the First Order time.
I agree. I think, if you want my honest, I think Dave Filoni I keep bringing that up, but I think Dave Filoni really likes the original trilogy timeline. And I think that's one of the reasons why he wanted to do, the Clone Wars. And that was clones, but those were good clones.
Yes.
And then in Rebels, you do get to meet other clones, but they're rebellious clones. And especially there's that nice little Easter egg that Rex from Clone Wars is actually the elder, the old dude that helps him
from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, like that's a great little Easter egg. I mean, and it's a nice little retcon, but it works. So I think when it comes to trying to sell a product here, they realize that they're kind of screwed. Like when I went to Galaxy's Edge and I went to the First Order cargo depot, right? It's all like, there's like they have a full size First Order, suit you can buy for like, I think it was like $9,000 or something. And they had like a little miniature First Order costume for kids. And then they had a bunch of merchandise for the 709 or the 709th. And I'm like, I'm looking at this going like, what the fuck is the 709th? I'm like, is this is it the 50? Is it the 501st? And then I was at Comic-Con a couple days later because it's literally everywhere. Like a 709 hats and mugs and magnets and keychains, right? Branding out the ass. And I'm at Comic-Con in San Diego a couple days later, and I come across the booth for the 501st. And I ask him, I'm like, hey, what do you guys know about the 709th? And the guy looks at me like, what the hell is that? And I was like, well, I was at Disneyland. And at Disneyland, they had that. And, they were selling this in the First Order supply depot or cargo bay thing. And he just looks at me and goes, oh, it's just Disney being Disney. Because they're clearly trying to market off of that. They're clearly, and the thing is, in the comics, the 709th, they've got a history, right? In the comics, no one's going to fucking go to Galaxy's Edge and drop $20 on a goddamn keychain for something they read in a comic that they don't.
Outpost. The only time I heard of it was Thrawn Alliance. I'm reading this right now.
Oh, is that good? I hear it's good.
I'm halfway. I'm in the first third of the book. It's not bad. First one.
And that's Timothy Zahn, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard. I haven't read his work personally, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. So, but again, you can tell they're kind of peppering it in to the back end of the lore, and they do that on purpose because then the diehards, the ones who read the books, the ones who read the comics, they're going to know what it is, and then they're hoping that they're going to tell their friends, and they're hoping that that's going to help maybe spread the word, and people are that way going to learn a lot of the lore. You know how it is, like when a new trailer drops on YouTube, and like every Tom, Dick, and douchebag makes a video breaking it down. And I'm one of those idiots, by the way. So, everyone's like breaking it down like, oh, what this really means is that's kind of it. They want that whole situation. And it's good for word of mouth marketing, but it made no sense to sell this much merchandise for something that is not even mentioned in the movie.
Yeah.
It's just so weird.
Black Spire Outpost in episode 9.
I kind of think we already did. I think that shot when they're coming into like the one base, that one thing around the rockiness at nighttime. Okay. I think that's Black Spire Outpost because I have to go look at it again. But when I was in Black Spire Outpost, like I'm a fucking idiot. When I'm walking through the park,
I'd like to go there too, but it's too far away from me.
So yeah, I mean, I think Orlando would be closer to you overall, but it was cool because you do feel like you're in Star Wars. The Force perspective is great. Wherever when you look up, you just see these massive spires, these rocks. It's you're kind of nestled in this valley, and you feel like you're actually there, and that was pretty cool.
Okay.
And they do a great job of trying to force your vision to certain places to give you that appearance, and it's really cool. But when you look at that shot in the Rise of Skywalker trailer, it kind of looks like that a little bit. I don't know if it's going to be, but like to spend $1 billion per park and then to have a ride called the Rise of the Resistance that takes place at Black Spire Outpost. And then to have a movie that's going to pull in like $1 billion. You know what I mean? Like $2 billion. It seems dumb to not actually go in and do that, you know?
Yes.
So I don't know. I don't know what their plan is. It's clearly not working because people aren't really talking about it from the perspective of like, oh my God, this is great. It's yeah, did you hear about this next little bit of information? Like you want a lightsaber? It's going to cost you $215 and you have to set a reservation by at least 7:30 in the morning. So if you're,
I can go as well to Saber. What's this? Saber Forge. They're most likely better fabricated and yeah.
And you can get it for a pretty decent price. I mean, a lot, buy it on eBay and whatnot. If you want to go build a droid, it's $100 to build a droid. And they don't even let you. So you walk into the droid factory, and there's like a line, a little entryway where they have like the conveyor belt. And I went to go walk in to go check it out, and they're like, "No, sorry, are you buying?" And I'm all like, "No, I'm just looking." And they're like, "Yeah, no, sorry, you can't come in." I mean, I get it. They don't want you stealing the parts. I get that. But it's like to not even like walk around and like take a look unless I'm going to spend $100. I just feel like it's a little bit, okay.
Yeah, that's dumb too, because if they let me walk into this factory and let me see the parts and increases my me wanting a droid. Sorry, my language is very bad.
No, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, I think it's they're going to learn these things over time. So I think we're going to be okay. But I see some other people are still lined up to get on in. So I'm only going to be on like another 10 minutes. So I'm going to let you go. But thank you so much. Definitely call in again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I will.
And enjoy the book.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye. Bye. All right. This is probably the last one here, and this is Billy the Fridge.
What's happening? How you doing?
Holy shit, it's actually you. How you been, man? Long time. I feel like long time no see. That's been a month.
Yeah, it's only been a month.
Only been a month.
I'm hearing you talking about the Star Wars. Were you talking about the lightsaber factory?
Yeah. We're talking about the Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, Galaxy's Edge. So you know why they don't let people go in there, right?
They're gonna steal shit.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's like the entire lightsaber building thing is like an experience. They have like a show that goes with it, and they just don't want to spoil the show. Yeah, it's like
okay.
I didn't go into it, but Boogie did, and he got a lightsaber made, and he was telling me about it. And when you get in there, you're there with like a group of maybe like 8 or so people, and I guess you're around like a table, and you assemble your lightsaber based on whatever color it is based on what power it's going to have the most for. And they tell the big story, and there's a bunch of lore behind it. And then like you have a ceremony when you're done that you like light the lightsabers all in a certain order. And it's like a story time thing along with the sale. So I could see why they might not open it up to the public, because it is it'll expose the experience. It's more of an experience than just like a straight build.
Because like when I talked to the guy when I was there, I just asked a question and they were like kind of rude about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
were they in character?
Well, now that I know more about the land, like how like they're, like was it Savi's workshop or whatever it is, that they're meant to be like low key.
Yeah.
Like they're hiding from the First Order. That now makes a bit more sense, which is cool. And if I fucking had the money, I would have gone and got the damn lightsaber.
Yeah, I thought about getting one too, but I was there with Boogie, and he wanted the lightsaber for sure. He was getting it.
Yeah.
And then I was there with Madison. I don't know if you remember her, hanging out at the VidCon, a friend of mine. And I just decided to hang out with her and skip the lightsaber thing, because really spending $150 on a lightsaber is not something I want to do. But if it would have been just me and Boogie, I would have done it just to sit there
just
with
to have
it. Yeah.
I mean, for me, it was like if the price to get in wasn't 150, I probably would have been like a little bit more like, because I still had to go to San Diego for the week. I was down at Comic-Con.
You only spent $150 to get in?
Yeah.
You didn't get the Max Pass?
Nah, I just got the one day.
You didn't get double parks?
No, we were just there. Yeah, I know, that was $200. I'm like, nah, fuck it.
We got the double parks and the Max Pass, and it was like,
wow.
It was like $468, I think, for 2 people.
That's it's a lot of
It
money,
was
man.
nuts. I've never been to Disneyland before though, so I was
Oh
like,
yeah, well, your first time. I used to live in LA. I used to live in San Diego.
and
So
to be honest, Boogie was gonna buy me the regular tickets anyways, so I was just like, let's do an upgrade. He was like, I got you, man. I got you. I was like, thank you, sweet boy.
nice. I only saw him once at VidCon. He came over and like put a camera in my face.
He was a lot more mobile this year. The last couple of years, he's been in the
chair.
the chairs, the wheelchairs. And everybody talks shit on that guy for not losing that much weight this last year, all the haters and stuff. But last year he was in that chair most of the time. We went to Downtown Disney and he was still in that chair. This year, the entire VidCon, he wasn't in that. He didn't have a chair. And then when we went to Disney, the last day after he'd been on his feet at VidCon all week, me and him went to Disney for the entire day. He walked almost 10 miles without any sort of assistance, rode both parks, went to both parks, rode hella rides with me. He, if you talk shit about the way he eats on his diet, like a lot of people do, that's fine. But this guy's body has changed so much in the last year. If he only lost 20, 30, 40 pounds over the last year, he gained so much more mobility. It was impressive.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I think, this is, people talking shit about YouTubers is nothing fucking new. Not at all. So that's one of those things where, I mean, like, I'm glad for Bookie. I'm glad he lost weight. He looked really good. It was good to see him. I don't think I'm going to go next year.
To VidCon?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go. No, definitely not Disneyland. I unless it's something like, maybe if I want to do like the Rise of the Resistance ride, like if I feel it's worth it, like if the reviews are good, I might go check it out. But I think, cause they did, if Comic-Con's the week after, I'm probably just going to go do Comic-Con, and then not really worry about VidCon as much.
Yeah.
I didn't really feel like I got much out of it this year. So
yeah, I had a really good time, but I honestly didn't even buy VidCon passes this year. I just went to hang out.
Well, I had a, this is, I mean, we're kind of like off of movies on the shop, but it's fine. I had a meeting at the YouTube lounge at the Creator Lounge with their product team and like my partner manager. And he's like, okay, but I'm like, well, I wasn't going to buy a ticket. Cause I'm like, well, there's no real point, Yeah. And he's like, oh no, but to get into the lounge, you got to have at least a creator pass. And I'm like, you fucking ass.
Yeah.
So, all right, fine. Cause it's like everyone hung out in the damn Marriott the entire time anyway. So
yeah,
it was one of those things.
Did you see the R2D2 they're selling at the Disney Star Wars?
I saw the R2D2 that was in the droid shop. Yeah.
Is that the one that's like, I think it's 30 grand or something?
No, I don't think it was that one.
They actually, like, you can have your own, or buy a R2D2 or whatever. I think you can customize it. And it's like a fully functioning R2D2 like droid that rolls around and I don't know, serves you a soda. I don't know if it does that. It's got to do extra little bits, but it's like $30,000. I think it's $25,000.
Wow.
They said
I would as much as I would like that, I would never actually buy it. I could never actually justify to myself to make that. It doesn't matter. I could have the money like in hand and go, like it doesn't, to me, it doesn't really matter that much. Like, what was the thing I saw there? The antiquity shop was pretty cool. That had some pretty cool, I'd love to put some of that stuff on my wall. And
that was the one with the animatronic seller guy behind the desk.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. And they had a bunch of like, but then also like the mounted heads from like a Tauntaun and like and everything else was pretty great. So I will give the park credit that it definitely has a lot of aesthetic going in. And there's a lot of fun things to look at. But I do feel like, when you walk into that little mall area, it's just like you're in a mall. And I think that kind of takes you out of it a bit.
I mean, it's Disney, right? Like, it's always gonna have that there. There's always gonna be the little traps. But I think that the fact that it's so submersive and like everybody's playing their part, the people selling are very strict with how they refer to things, like the credits you spend instead of cash. They know what they're doing. They at least keep in character the entire time. That
was pretty cool. I saw like, I saw a little girl get lost, and she went up to Ray, the actress cast member playing Ray.
Yeah,
and I watched her. She stood with her the whole time, until her parents came by. And like that to me was pretty cool. I was like, that's nice. That's I mean, I know this is Disney, you're gonna get that anyway, but it was like the little girl went to Ray because she knew Ray would be the person who would, who would help her.
That's cute.
And like that, like, and to me, that's like, for one, that's like grade A Disney. And two, that's cool because she saw a character in Star Wars that she trusted.
Do you think the little girl was a crisis actor that Disney hired to go up to Ray all the time?
Oh, I have no fucking idea. I wouldn't be surprised at that point.
I wouldn't put it past Disney.
I wouldn't put it past at all. It'd be hysterical to me.
That happens 4 times a day. There's a morning shift, a noon shift, a dinner shift, and a dessert shift where the little girl comes up crying.
They got the little girl like, okay, you're on. All right, Tanya, don't fuck this one up. Last time you stuttered.
Yeah.
All right. Like you'll get beat again and it will happen. I was I had fun, but I also hadn't been to the park since 2011. So going and getting the opportunity to go like on Star Tours 2.0 for the first time was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then like Hyperspace Mountain was great.
Hyperspace. Yeah. I don't think I made it to Hyperspace Mountain because we walked in and we did both parks.
Okay.
So like Boogie was only going to do the single park, and I was like, well, I'll pay the extra to get the double parks because I'll stay after you leave. And he was like, you know what? If you're going to do double parks, I'll do it with you too. And then we went to like the Pixar. Have you been to the other park?
Not since 2011.
Oh yeah,
so
it's great.
Yeah, the Pixar Pier. It was still that's new.
Yeah, the Incredicoaster was badass. It's the very first thing we did. We got on the Incredicoaster, and then we went and did the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, which is the Tower of Terror has been updated. That was a lot of fun. Just waiting in line for that thing was a lot of fun. The way it was set up, it was the cool thing Disney does at Disneyland is the lines are fun. They're interesting. They're long and they suck. We still got a max pass, but you can only sign up for one max pass entry per time. And usually the wait's like an hour and 10 minutes for max pass. So in between that time, you go wait in a line for another ride that has an estimated shorter period. And then when you're done with that ride, you go with the max pass and you wait like a minute to get on. It's pretty good way to get the most out of your buck for one day. I think we ended up doing about 11 or 12 rides during that day, and we're fat, slow people. But
yeah, my brother and I, we waited until the parade, and when because the parade starts at like 9, I think.
Yeah. And
by about 8 o'clock, a lot of people start lining up. But keep in mind that you had a lot of the a lot of people. It was slower park attendance. It was lower attendance, and so when everyone started going to the parade, we hit like Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean, Hyperspace Mountain, fucking Indiana Jones, Star Tours, and like all within that time period. And then what was really funny was I wanted to go. I was tired. I'm like, I just want to go. I'd been on the go since like this was Sunday. I left Wednesday morning. I flew out of Seattle down to Anaheim.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I need to sleep. And then my buddy hits me up and he drove in from Thousand Oaks, which is like north of the valley.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I'm at the McDonald's Anaheim. Let's go meet up. I'm like, you fucking asshole.
How'd you like the Indiana Jones ride?
Oh, it's great. First time I went on it was back in 2000, and every time I go to Disneyland, I ride that thing. It's probably one of I'd probably say it's like my favorite ride.
The ride was a lot of fun. The animatronic Harrison Ford was creepy. I don't know. It was just like. I can understand Jack Sparrow and everything. I can see that, but for some reason, Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones, was just a little too puppety weird for me. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's they haven't updated it in 20 years.
Yeah. So, did you move out of the way of the boulder? Or was that the scariest shit?
Well, me and boulders kind of go hand in hand, so I wasn't too afraid of boulders.
Dude, that was so fucking cool. The boulders rolling down at you, like I have no complaints about the Indiana Jones ride, other than because on my way in, I was with a YouTuber, Adam the Woo. He came with us, and he does a lot of Disneyland and park ride vlogs. He's a big park vlogger, and he was like, I heard that Harrison Ford's family were here, and Harrison refused to go on this ride with him. He refused it. So the entire time I was in the ride, had that on my mind. And I'm just thinking, if I was Harrison Ford watching the animatronic version of myself, I would cringe so fucking hard. So like that just stood out to me the whole time.
I think, I mean, as content creators, I think we cringe at ourselves more often than not anyway.
Yeah.
But having it be immortalized in an animatronic ride that literally like millions and millions of people see,
man,
all year long, you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm okay with that not being a reality. But no, I like Disneyland. The park is always a lot of fun. I feel like going for just one thing, going for just Galaxy's Edge is not worth it. But like if you're gonna do the whole day, if you can do both parks, because I really wanted to do, like, I love California Adventures. Soarin' over California is great.
Oh I did Soarin'. That was awesome.
Soarin' is so much fun. And then there's like just all the other, it's been so long, but it's like, when I used to live in LA and San Diego, I do the SoCal Pass. So it cost me $179 for the whole year.
Yeah.
And I pay I think it was like $73 to get in. And that was like my base pay. And then they charged me like $17 a month after that. And I could tag on parking. Yeah. You tack on parking and it's like maybe you pay $23 a month for the whole year. And then you get, you get access in like 200 days and parking's covered. And my girlfriend and I, we lived about 30 miles away. So we would just drive down there and like go hang out for the evening. And that's what a lot of people like to do who are big fans of Disney in that area and keeps the park going. But nowadays they're just, I talked to a cast member at Comic-Con and I was asking her, hey, I was like, what the fuck's going on? Like the park is kind of slow. And she's like, oh yeah, no, we priced ourselves out. Because Knott's Berry Farm, which is a little south of Disneyland, was $53 for the day. They were sold out. And Universal Studios is like $200 for the whole year. And they were busy. And they got the Harry Potter shit going on.
Okay.
So a lot of people going into like, Disneyland, like, there were other options that were that were less expensive. And Disney is, they kind of downplayed it a little bit. Like, attendance was down 3%, but our hotel sales were up. Yeah, because you raised the prices. That's kind of how this works. And so they, they're trying to spin it, but I'm hoping that, that they realize that pricing everybody out is not going to be the way to get people to come in. You want to make it affordable for families, and it's just not.
I like we got the max everything, and it was like $468 for two people. And then like, you go in there and you buy a bottle of water. That's an extra $20. You buy lunch. That's an extra $90. You buy the lightsaber, double-sided lightsaber dildo or whatever. And you literally got to fuck yourself with it to pay it back.
Yeah.
So it's rough, but it was still, I don't know. Like I've never done Disney before, and I'm not like I was always way too fat for stuff like this. So fitting
you're
on
not
the rides,
anymore. So yeah,
right? Like being able to fit on the rides was really cool. And when I actually got in there, I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I did because I was never that type of person. But it was so much fun. Like if you're doing that once a year, I'd spend $500 for me and a friend to just go crazy for a day. No problem.
I think that's kind of what they rely on too. Just having lived in Southern California for as long as I did, you just kind of deal with Disney in regards to like it being around. But when you're not there, and like you get to go so infrequently, then it's a lot more fun. So, there's like, I probably won't go next year. I don't know if I'll, I might take a couple years off of VidCon because I just had another kid.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, she's 12 days old
at
this point.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so it's at this point, it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get away anyway for a while.
Yeah.
I can barely, I'm not even going to be able to get up to Seattle for Penny Arcade in a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just got word that we got some passes for that. So I know me and Jeff Holiday and I think Ben will be there.
Nice. I totally spaced on requesting passes.
Yeah.
I might, if I can get away the Monday, like the final day, I might just buy a pass because I think they're like $40.
Yeah, you can get them on the street for pretty cheap.
Yeah, just go up, or I might ask some people I know. So I know some other YouTubers that are going to be there. I don't know if Chris Raygun's going to show up this year. or not.
Yeah, right. After they screwed him, like
Yeah.
I can't see him showing up. They invited him to come, like like I don't know if they canceled it afterwards, but they're like, please come and enjoy your creator pass or whatever, even though you
Yeah.
can't have your thing. And it's like, do you do that? Like,
No, you don't do that. You don't make the trip to Seattle and after getting fucked over by Penny Arcade and then go, oh, but you get to come and enjoy the show for free. Chris is like, I got a channel with 500,000 subscribers. I could just email you and you would give me like 8 passes.
yeah.
So because that's how this kind of shit works nowadays.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, if you are, I don't know if you ever head out to the coast up here at all. If
What
you ever head
part?
out to Aberdeen,
Aberdeen?
yeah,
Yeah, what's going on in Aberdeen?
there's if you like Star Wars, there's a store.
Oh yeah,
there's a store out
I've been there.
Yeah, I just
I
went
got it.
there.
I actually went there a year ago this week for the first time. I was rolling through. I knew I had to stop there, and I got a Jabba the Hutt mug because
Nice.
I was going there on my way to where was I going? I think San Francisco or something. It was for my birthday. I was going on a little road trip, and the day before my birthday, I stopped there and bought myself a Jabba the Hutt mug for a birthday present. Your little self gift.
Nice.
You know?
Yeah, I was out there last month for 4th of July. We just drove out for the afternoon and I ended up hanging out there for maybe like 30 minutes. I thought that place was great. I'm looking forward to going back.
Oh, it's such a mess. The guy is like a little weird. It's pretty cool.
Sorry, for people who don't know, because we're kind of there's a store in a little Washington coastal town called Aberdeen, and it's this dude runs it's a Star Wars store, and it's all like Star Wars toys, Star Wars memorabilia, but it looks like a flea market, and it kind of is run like a flea market, but it's amazing. It's so much fun.
I'm actually going to be going through Aberdeen next week. I'm going to Westport for a fishing trip, and I'm going to have to drive through there. So I might stop by again.
Yeah, you should. You should totally stop on by. But hold on a second, Billy. I'm gonna wrap up the show. We can chit chat for a few.
For sure.
So anyway, yeah. Usually I'm on to about 2 hours. We're a little over. This has been a lot of fun. I'll be back on again Monday night, same time and same channel. Thank you guys for watching. Have yourself a great weekend. Go to a fucking movie and peace out.